Hi, welcome back to my channel. Thank you for watching and for subscribing. And if you're just visiting, please consider subscribing. Today, I'm going to talk about Ruthless Fragrances. This is, of course, based on the idea created by Ruth from Ruth's Gifted Hands. If you're not familiar with her channel, it will be linked in the description. She has a wonderful channel that I recommend you go and check out. And these are the types of fragrances that are powerful, strong, statement maker type of fragrances. So I've chosen, I think, around 10, maybe 9 from my collection that I'm going to share with you. The first one that I have is from the house of Kerosene, and this is Sweetly Known. This fragrance is definitely a statement maker. It is not for everyone. It is not for the faint at heart. This fragrance has cardamom, cacao, caramel, vanilla. So it is definitely gourmand, but the note of cardamom in the opening is extremely strong. It is so powerful. It takes over the room. It takes over wherever you are. It just fills up the room. It is so strong. It is so powerful. It is definitely a statement maker. It comes down a little bit in a dry down, and you sort of get more of a gingerbread cooking in the oven. It really smells of Christmas, I think. That's why I've worn this fragrance so much around the December time, but it can be worn any other time of the year as well, of course. But it's very strong, very powerful, not for everyone. I would definitely not recommend blind buying it, but it is a really stunning, strong gourmand. So again, this is Sweetly Known from Kerosene. Next, I've chosen a fragrance from the house of Mugler, and I think I could have chosen quite a few different ones from this house because all of them are quite strong, but the one that I decided to go with is Angel Taste of Fragrance. So this is basically your typical angel, but with the addition of cacao. So cacao, chocolate, patchouli, a whole bunch of other notes, but these are kind of the main ones. So it is, I think the cacao makes this fragrance more wearable, in my opinion, than the original Angel. It kind of tones down the patchouli a little bit, although, of course, patchouli is still very strong in here. And it gives this fragrance even more power, even more substance, and it is even more of a statement maker fragrance, I think. Again, not for the faint at heart. I think most of the fragrances that I'm going to mention today are like that, but that's the idea. We are talking about strong and powerful scents, and this one is definitely one of them. Next one that I have is from Haramain, and this is Amber Oud Gold. This is the one that's supposed to be a dupe for Xerjoff's Porpora, which I think it is. It comes very close, and this is so strong. I think I mentioned when I first got it, I sort of sprayed it using, my usual spray routine, which I tend to spray maybe a bit too much, and this was just too much for this fragrance. It is so strong. Again, it's a fragrance that projects. It's a fragrance that leaves an amazing trail, and it lasts forever. If it gets on your clothes, it really lasts forever. This is kind of your sweet, fruity explosion. So it has fruits, it has green notes, sweet notes, vanilla, musk, amber. But really, when you put all of this together, very strong, sweet, musky fruits. It is delicious, it is powerful, and it is definitely a statement maker. Next, I have a fragrance that maybe doesn't have the biggest projection or the biggest sillage, but I think it is quite a statement maker as well. I think it is definitely a ruthless fragrance, and I don't think everyone can pull this one off. This is Baraonda from Nasomatto. So this fragrance, of course, is about whiskey. In addition to that, we have musk, amberette, woody notes. There's also, I think, rose in here. although I don't get rose at all. This is mainly about whiskey, and I kind of get dried fruits vibe. Like I have dried fruits mixed with maybe even not necessarily whiskey. To me, it is really more of a red wine with dried fruits, I think. Although my husband says it does smell like whiskey, and he knows a lot more about whiskey than I do, but to me, it doesn't. But either way, it is a very boozy fragrance, probably the booziest fragrance that I have ever tried, and that's why I think it's a statement maker. And it's a fragrance that not everyone can pull off. It's definitely a fragrance that not everyone is going to like, but for me, I was surprised how much I loved this fragrance. It's really a beauty. For those of you that enjoy boozy scents, I would strongly suggest giving this one a shot. Now, I couldn't do this video about powerful, strong fragrances without mentioning this one. This is one of my top picks, and I think some of you might have guessed what I'm gonna say next. This is, of course, Rosé All Day from Gallagher. Whew, this fragrance is a beast, a real beast. And it is so stunning. I love that this fragrance is so beautiful and so powerful. When I spray this one, it's really making a commitment for the whole day. This is not the case where, you know, I can use another fragrance maybe in the middle of the day or in the evening. No, this one really lasts the whole day. So this one is definitely a commitment when I spray it on. And of course it has apple crisp, rose, honey, brown sugar. And I love the combination of sweet and sour here. Like you really have these sour apples or sour apple crisp with a really sweet rose. And I would say rose is not very strong here. There is, of course, the interesting metallic note in here, which I'm so happy I don't get at all, but I know that some people do. So that's why, again, this is definitely a risky blind buy. It's better to sample it first. But for me, really one of the best finds of last year is Rosé All Day. I absolutely love this fragrance. Next, statement maker fragrance from my collection. Again, shouldn't come as a surprise because it's a real powerhouse that I can only pull off for special occasions. This is one of those fragrances that I can't wear just casually any day for just no occasion. Rosé All Day, for some reason, even though it's such a powerhouse, I can wear it anytime. This one, I really can't. For me, this is an occasion scent. I'm talking about Porpora from Tiziana Terenzi, which is supposed to be a dupe or very close fragrance to Portrait of a Lady from Frederick Malle. I've had a chance last year to sample Portrait of a Lady, and in my opinion, they really are quite similar. So because I have this one, I feel like I really don't need to get Portrait of a Lady at all. So this fragrance, of course, is about rose. In addition to rose, we have incense, myrrh, patchouli, cloves, and this is resinous, smoky, earthy, deep, kind of mysterious, gothic type of rose. Definitely not your everyday rose. That's why for me, this scent is a special occasion scent. It is beautiful. It is powerful. This is another one where, you know, if I'm wearing it, I am making a commitment for the duration of this fragrance, which is going to be the whole day. Or, you know, if I'm going out, it's definitely going to last me through the night. So this is a gorgeous powerhouse for those of you that love roses and are not afraid of them. I would call this a gothic rose, probably. If I had to summarize it in one word, I would say a gothic rose. So it is really, really beautiful, but again, not an everyday type of scent, at least for me. Next one I'm going to mention is another rose scent, and I don't have a full bottle yet. I have a sample that was kindly sent to me by Nisha, Spicy Looks. We exchange samples all the time, which is so much fun. This really has been honestly the best part of YouTube is getting to know so many people and becoming really good friends with so many people who share the same interest and the same passion. So this is Noir de Noir from Tom Ford. This is another sort of dark, mysterious rose. It has truffle, patchouli, vanilla, saffron, oud. This one is not sweet at all. It is also kind of dark and smoky. The main difference, I would say, to me between the last two, because they definitely have some similarities, although overall the scent that they create is quite different. But when I look at the qualities of the two, they are similar. But where in Porpora I find a lot of resinous qualities, I really don't get those in here. Instead, we have a little bit of oud, which adds woodiness and depth and oomph to this fragrance. And there's also truffle in here, which to me adds an element of earthiness to this one. Gorgeous, beautiful, strong scent. As you can see, I don't know if you can see, but there's very little left in this sample. I've definitely tested it. I'm definitely interested in purchasing a full bottle, which I will at some point, but Noir de Noir from Tom Ford is definitely a statement maker in my opinion. Next, I'm going to show you a fragrance that you haven't seen on my channel yet, and that's because it will be coming up in my next haul, but I'm gonna briefly show it to you here because I just had to include it in this video because it is one of the biggest, ruthless, powerful types of fragrances that I have ever encountered. This is my first purchase from Frederick Malle, which if you watched my videos, you know that I have been interested to try his fragrances for a really, really long time. And I finally have one in my collection. And the one that I'm talking about is Musc Ravageour. I'm not going to spend too much time talking here about this fragrance because I'm going to go in a bit more details once I share it in a whole. But it has a lot of notes. There's lavender, tangerine, cinnamon, cloves, vanilla, amber, tonka, sandalwood, woody notes. I'm sure there are many more that I have missed here. And this is an incredible powerhouse. What I found out with this fragrance is that I cannot spray it how I typically spray my fragrances because it becomes terrible. It becomes ugly. When this one is oversprayed on me, it really becomes ugly. This has to be used in moderation because it is so stunning when it is used in moderation. And if you overspray, it goes in a completely opposite direction. It becomes absolutely terrible. So for me, really 2 sprays of this one is more than enough, and it lasts and it projects. It is such a statement maker. It is so ruthless. It is definitely not for everyone. It definitely has an animalic touch to it. And this is the first fragrance that I have ever liked that has this animalic touch, but it also has such an amazing depth and sweetness and just incredible. This fragrance does something to me that no other fragrance does. Anyways, I said I wasn't going to go into details, and here I am talking about it. But all I will say is, yes, this is definitely ruthless. And I'm going to finish with maybe a surprising choice because it is a fruity scent, but this is the strongest, most powerful fruity scent that I have ever tried. And this is 1804 from Histoires de Parfum. Now, the main notes in here are pineapple, florals, cloves, nutmeg, vanilla, patchouli, peach, sandalwood, benzoin. The most prominent note is pineapple to me. So I would say this fragrance is definitely about pineapple, but it also has a lot of spiciness. So cloves, nutmeg, all of that give a lot of spiciness to this. There's a little bit of peach in there, but not too much. It blends really nicely with everything else. Although there is vanilla and benzoin, they do add a bit of sweetness, but I would not say that this is overly sweet. This is a really spicy pineapple. And the reason I included it in here is because this is a powerhouse. I mean, this fragrance lasts for a long time. Again, projects. It really makes a statement. You know, when you're wearing this, you are making a statement. It is ruthless. It is powerful. It's an amazing scent that, again, I don't hear a lot of people talking about, but I really, really enjoy it. So there you go. These were my choices of Ruthless fragrances from my collection. And I would love to know in the comments, what are your Ruthless fragrances? If you enjoyed this video, please remember to give me a thumbs up and subscribe. And I will see you soon in my next video. Bye.